Good evening. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a overview and review of the Chapman ML3 Modern, as you can see here. Very nice, excuse the fucking cables and shit. There should be some sort of passover shots going about now, of both the guitar front and the back in some nice light. And yeah, so I'm just going to take you over it. What's hot when I'm playing? Saturday night. Nice coffee bird. Someone on my nose. Okay. So this guitar is really nice, to be honest. I was a bit sceptical when I first was going to buy them because, you know, I mean, they've bigged up a lot just because I was afraid of the fanboy, you know. So basically, I bought this on a whim. I needed a new guitar. I was playing a little Strat, which was awful. And yeah. So the Strat I was playing was a Crafter. It's a no-name brand. I got it from Cash Converters, if I remember rightly. And I just needed something a bit better. I've played many guitars in my life, sold them all, ended up using that all because it's just something that we've had in the house for 20 odd years, you know. So I bought this one on a bit of a whim, really. I'm glad I did. I've got it on finance because I can't just afford to just go and buy one. They retail for about 500 quid. Totally worth it. If you can afford one and you're looking for a guitar that's, you know, above the quality for the price, then go for these. You know, there's not much choice, which is one of the main gripes I have about the company. But of course, it's a growing company. You're used to expect that. But Rob Chapman, I have a bit of history of him. He used to basically do some online stuff with us. He used to have like an FAQ kind of thing, questions and answers, every Friday night. A few years ago, I've been following Chappers for years really, and it's good to see over the years how he's evolved, because he started off with tuition videos, stuff like that, and the guy's sound, you know. I've spoken with him a few times, you probably won't remember because it was over Skype, not Skype, the online thing that he used for the questions and answers night that he'd do, and yeah, so it's great to see, because I remember the first ML1 I couldn't afford. I wanted to get one. I took part in the collaborative design, but unfortunately couldn't buy one at the time because I didn't have a job and a bit young and all that. So eventually, 5 years down the line, I managed to get my hands on one. So the concept for this was to basically do a modern version of the Telecaster that he did beforehand, which is the ML3 standard or something. I really like the colour, it's blue, and he does one of these colours as well. So basically this one is obviously humbuckers, fixed bridge, which is a bridge through, so it goes through the body, the strings go through the body, which I prefer over the ML1s where they have the sort of Fender-ish kind of bridges, which I'm not a fan of really. It's either a Floyd or nothing for me. I've had so many Floyd guitars that I just wanted something different, so I can drop tune and all that crap without having to fuck about with tuning fucking difficulties and the nut and stuff like that. It's got some really good features on here for the price, and some not so good features, which is to be expected, like I said. So if you want to watch this and just go straight ahead without watching the rest of the video, I'm going to give this big thumbs up from me, 8 out of 10 for the price point, and we'll come on to that later. Okay, so the guitar is made from mahogany. Mine is a 3-piece mahogany body. Let me just take the strap off. So mine is a 3-piece. It's very hard to tell it's 3 pieces, to be honest. The only way you can tell is in the right light. There's one here, and one on the end. Sorry, no. One there, and sort of wings, and then a main strip through the body. It's got a cap on it. It's got a mahogany cap, so it's just mahoganyed out. It's heavy as well, very heavy. I'd say it's around £10, so it's along the lines of a Les Paul. This has got a bigger body mass than a Les Paul, so it's to be expected to be heavier, but I kind of prefer it, even though I have a bad back. I do prefer it to have a heavier guitar. It's just my preference. So mahogany, very, very dark, sounds really dark, but not to the point where you can't hear it playing, so this is dead good. So if I give you an acoustic overview, so if I just play this now. Some soft. As you can tell, I need to change the strings on these as well. So yeah, it just works. It really does just work. One of the best things you can do with a new guitar, if you're in the shop, put your finger on the headstock and just pluck a string. Preferably one of the middle ones in E, because E tuning, you know, your standard tuning. You can feel the vibrations, which I can hear. You need, you know, quite, and it's good. It's good made. It's got an ebony fingerboard, which I've seen some videos and they said it isn't stained, but I'm pretty sure it is stained, to be honest, because if you look, I'm not sure if the light will pick it up, but some of the frets are starting to wear where the fingerboard is, where my fingers have been, and if you can tell, it's not really that bad today, but my fingers are like black when I finish playing, so it's a dyed board, I'm pretty sure. It also has the Infinity logo, and that's the only logo there is, except from the side dots here. I'm pretty sure that's mother of pearl, because I'm actually 90% sure that's mother of pearl, just because of the way it looks. You can usually tell. Mother of pearl from plastic. You've got the truss rod adjustment at the bottom, which I've never had before, which is thank you. That is amazing. I'm sick to death of going up here and, you know, undoing strings, fucking messing about with the Allen key. So that's perfect, mate, that's perfect. 24 frets, extra jumbo frets as well. I think they're Dunlop, I'm not too sure. I'll have to look that up. The neck profile is what I can think of as C. It took a little bit of getting used to, because beforehand I had a V neck on the Strat. It was a V neck, and then before that I had a Dean Razorback, which was also a strong V. So it took a bit of getting used to when playing up in the high registers here, just because I'm used to having the V in my hand to pivot on. So without that there, it took a little bit of getting used to, but it's something you get used to really. Maple neck, unfinished, which is great. I say unfinished, it's got a slight bit of lacquer on it, like a tiny bit of satin lacquer, and it just makes it's better than unfinished, to be honest. I don't see why people moan. An unfinished neck, to me, when I get sweaty, it just sort of clings just like a normal lacquered neck really. With a little bit of satin on it, it just makes it so smooth, like amazingly smooth. It's got Grover tune. This is why it's just amazing feature. It's got Grover tuners on it, Grover, which are fantastic. I've never had decent tuners before, so you know it's great. It's usually, even on the expensive guitars, they give you shitty tuners, you know, and you have to change them out eventually, just because the crap stock random stuff. You get a hairband, which adds 25 brake horsepower to your speed. You also get a Graphtec nut, which is, again, thank you, fantastic, it really is. It's a self-leaving nut. It's not been cut great, but what can you do? And you've got your controls here, standard Telecaster position, but they haven't got the plate on them, the metal plate, which I prefer really. They're a little bit further back than a normal Telecaster. Telecaster you'd find them more up here, so where your fingers would be with the volume, the pickup selector would be. But I prefer this out of the way really, just because it's easier. It's for metal. For country stuff, I prefer the other way because you can easily get to the pickup selector and the volume as well. So if you're doing some kind of chicken pickety stuff and you want to just sort of nudge the volume up and down with your pinky, you can do that. But on this, it's for metal, really. It's a metal guitar. But as you'll see during the video, it doesn't just do metal. It does some really, really nice tones. I'm going through a Dean stack at the minute. It's got a Dean 4x12 and a solid state head, which is really nice. Best solid state I've ever had. As you'll see later, it cleans up really well. For a solid state amp, you really can't complain. I'd like to get a tube. I've had a few tubes before, Marshally kind of things like, you know, Jet City, they're really nice, but it's 120 watt, bedroom level. You can't ask for more. You really can't. It's really good. So I'm using that for that, and all the clean tones, like the clean, crunchier tones that you'll hear, are just from rolling the volume on and off. So if I show you now, this is with the volume about. If it had 10 dials, 10 notches on it, it would be 1. So this is 1. That's a half. And then full up to 10. So it's a decent amp, you know, it's a good amp. So on the back of the guitar, you've got what I really like. One of the main things that puts me off guitars is bolt-on. I hate bolt-on. Because if even Ibanez, you know, even Ibanez's heel, which is cut off, I just don't like it. It gets in the way, it's horrible. And I always end up getting either a bolt-on or a set neck like a Gibson, which is to me equally just as bad. If it's just in the way, especially when you're playing up high, you know, you've got that thing sticking into your palm and it's just not nice really. But this is another level. So this, on a 500 quid guitar, 440 quid, is unheard of. So you have a carved bolt-on, it's a recessed bolt-on, right, which is just, is great. You're playing up here, right, and your palm rests on it, you can feel it, it is there, your palm rests on it, but it's not in the way at all. Like, you can get up here quite easily. I've heard people say, you know, with this bolt and that, you can get up here and you can play, and you can't, you really can't. It's very difficult, but for here, you know, it's just, you know, it's straight, it's easy to get to, you know. And it really does just fit your hand really, really well. So if I'm here and I'm 24th fret, you know, you grab it onto the back of it here, it's not, you can see there's a hole there, it's not in the way at all. Whereas a full-on Telecaster one would be. As you can see here, you've got this nice little cutout for your hand to go. At first I didn't think it made that much of a difference until I went and played the Telecaster, and yeah, the Telecaster, if that wood was there, it would get in the way, and it's very hard to get up here, even though it doesn't have 24 frets. It only has 21, but unless you're playing like a modern one, it does help. I thought it was just a bit of, you know, make it look better, but it does help. just so you can have a look at this grain in the light. You can see the finish on it isn't satin, isn't lacquered, and it basically it's just oiled. It's really nicely oiled, and you can see the grain in there. It's absolutely amazing, and it smells just as nice. So as you can see there, you can see the kind of end part of the wood, where the one of the pieces there, and the other two you can't even see. So it's got a mahogany cap, and there's the action stock. Barry Bands is a wide angle lens at 170 degrees, so it might look a bit different on camera. That's the action stock. It does buzz a bit and needs a setup, which I'll do when I change the strings, because I need to change the strings. So there's the input jack, nice style. So all in all, I love the guitar. It's nice to play. If you're a beginner and you basically have a bit of money, but you don't want to go spending thousands of pounds, would not do you wrong. It would not do you wrong, and this is going to last for a long time, I can tell you that. Bad points, I mean, the lack of choice is one of them. I mean, if I could have had this in the colour that the normal Telecaster comes in, like the blue with the swamp ash, man, that would have been great. But as it is, obviously metalheads like black, so it's black. It smells nice, even after 2 months. You can still smell the oil. Top tip: if you're going to get one of these and they've been in the warehouse for a little bit, acclimatise it for 24 hours. As soon as I got this out of the box, I was impatient, and it just was horrible, but after 24 hours it was perfect, you know. And also, if you got the top and it's looking a bit dull, you can get lemon oil, which you would usually put on your fretboard, give it a few sprays and rub it in, and it'll make it pop. It'll really make it pop. You can tell from here, where you can see the shininess, to here, it's a bit dull compared to the rest of the guitar. You could do with another spray, to be honest, but push pull, which is another really good feature. It stops me from having to use the Strat again, because the push pull is obviously, it splits the coils. So if I've got three-piece quarter saw maple neck, which is good, and it also, I forgot to mention, has a angled headstock without a scarf joint. But quarter saw, you don't need a scarf joint, because it's just 10 times stronger. So throughout this video I'll put some snippets of me playing guitar. Didn't use a clean channel for this, because the clean channel on the Dean is a bit fucked. It's either off or 100 fucking decibels, and it's, you know, it's 10 o'clock at night and I can't do that. One of the cons about the guitar is the electronics. They're using 500k pots, but the alpha pots, they're not great. So that's something you might want to consider. The tone knob came and it's a bit wobbly, you know, it's a bit shit. And it's really quick to, the actual pot itself is really fast to turn, whereas the volume, it's got a bit more resistance. It feels a bit better, to be honest. It's got a little more resistance there for you, and it doesn't wobble. So I think there's something wrong with the tone, because it's the push pull, I assume. So that's something you might want to change. Used shielding paint on the back inside the cavity. It's all really nicely, really nicely, wires and stuff, nothing to worry about there. It's got the Chapman passive aggressive and carnivore, I think. If not, I'm an idiot. I'm thinking about changing these out just because they're a bit too bright for me. I like a lot of pop in the neck pickup, especially with the gain. But for stock pickups, again, you know, you can't go wrong really. I understand these are branded pickups by Chapman. They are just sort of Chinese pickups which are cheap, otherwise it costs a lot more for the guitar to be made. But you know, they are really nice. They came, I'm pretty sure these pickups have been in a cheap guitar before, which the stock pickups were absolutely amazing. It might have been the Epiphone Nighthawk, or I think it's the Nighthawk or something like that anyway. But yeah, they're really nice. Really nice, to be honest. Andertons themselves were great, they were really good. They dispatched it the next day, or the same day that I bought it, and then it came the day after or the day after that, 2 days or something, I can't remember now. But it came with a gig bag, which I have somewhere. One sec. So it came with this gig bag. Okay, and it's a very nice gig bag. Very plush. There's a lot there. It's got a string resistant padding at the top so the strings don't rip into the actual soft material. I forgot what it's called, so I'm an idiot. 2 pockets, really nice. So what Andertons did was it came with a mouldy case. I think it had been in the warehouse a bit too long, maybe got a bit wet or something. But the case it came in had mould on the outside of the back. So I contacted them, and within half an hour they'd sent me another one, you know, which is amazing. It's good, very good service. So all in all, I give the Chapman Guitars 8 out of 10. Within its price range, you can't find anything better. Like, just take my word for that. The only thing that's going to give it a run for its money, the Charvel, SoCal, and San Dimas, which are really nice. They're on par with this. The PRS SE top of line models, so the 600 to 800 pound models. The Deans, even though Deans have kind of gone downhill, there are some really nice Deans out there. My mate has a ESP LTD EC1000, which I was gonna get if I didn't get this, and this is 10 times better than that. You know, I just prefer it. It's just one of them things. Everything that I look for in guitar is in this guitar, which is why I bought it. You know, bolt-on neck is recessed and really well cut out. It has an unfinished neck, unfinished body, coil splits, Grover tuners, a reverse headstock, angled headstock, which is good, with decent strings, decent setup, decent pickups. Could do with maybe a new tone pot and pots altogether, maybe rewiring. Output jack is nice, very sturdily built. Like, I've dropped it on the floor, I've knocked it, I've dinged it, there's no marks on it whatsoever. If you drop this on the floor, it's not going to snap, guaranteed, unless it's from like a house or something. You know, for an affordable mid-level entry guitar, it will beat anything above it within about 400 or 500 quid, like easily. And I appreciate the work that Robbie's been doing. Hope to speak to him again soon. Perfect, very well done, mate. I'll be uploading more videos soon. We've got the V-Picks, the new V-Pick reviews coming up soon. We've got the D review. We have an old Fender 1980s acoustic, which I'm going to set up. I'm going to do a few tutorial videos on scales, modes, beginner videos, pentatonic, stuff like that. And yeah, so look forward to more. Hope you enjoy it, and John out.